We're still continuing section A part A3 of the work, where we're discussing about the basic settings and uh, limit to be precise. Now, there's something about limit setting. It's not just only typing the lower left corner and upper right corner. There's need for you to zoom it, and not just zoom it, you zoom all to complete the settings. Very important. And I want to use the case 2 in your textbook, page 17 of it. Please go to page 17, you see what I'm talking about there. Now, when you have a drawing like this, where you have some part of it on negative direction, what you do in that case is still very the same as we've explained before. All you need to do, make recommendation in such a way that the lower, the beginning of the lower part and the end of the lower part will enter the journey. Okay, the distance. Then the beginning of the bottom part to the top will enter uh, the value of of the drawn object. That's just the idea. Like now you have minus 42 against minus 42 at the lower left corner, and 42 against 42 at the top corner, as you can see in figure 1.12 on page 17. Very easy. The recommendation there is okay. Now somebody may ask, is that all that it can be possible for that drawing? No, you can use 70, you can use 60 against 60. It's still correct. The question is just make sure that the entire dimension of the object will enter the specified zone. That's just the idea. Okay. So you type limit, enter, then you specify the lower uh, left corner. The example we have here, we use minus 65, comma, minus 65. You say enter. You've done that. Then the upper right corner, you specify 65, comma, 65. You say enter. Then the next thing, you're not yet done. There's need for you to zoom whatever you specified and you select all. Now, watch what happened when I do that. I say Z for zoom and say enter. That is shortcut for zoom. Then I say all, enter, and watch. There is a movement on the screen. What happened now? It positioned the drawing in the right perspective, in such a way that when you draw, everything will be at the center. You may not value what we're doing now until we start your printing. That will be the last thing we're going to do in this stage of training. Okay, you will center your printing and make your work very nice. But if you don't do all the settings properly, at the end of the day, you have your object cut into two, or you just shown one part of it because you didn't do. Notwithstanding, you will still do your drawing very well, but because you didn't do the right positioning, you won't have it as you desire. So these are the things you do, very important. Now, next to this is at this stage, we'll be explaining the basic tools. That's where the journey is starting from. I think we're switching over the deal gradually. Explain the basic tool. No doubt, we'll have plenty tools in the CAD environment, okay, especially ACAD. Now, very soon we're talking about Inventor and SolidWorks. But for now, just like other ones, we always have many tools to work with. So you always call up the tool that we need or we needed in solving the problem on the ground. That's just the idea. You don't need to cram it. It's a question of repeating the modeling activities and works, and you get used to all of them. Now, at this stage, we'll be talking about the the most important tabs, which I have told us before. The most important tabs, as you can see on icon on page 12 of your textbook, icon 3, you have your tabs there, tab keys. And the first one is Home tab, and that is located here, as you can see on the screen. That is your icon 3, according to the diagram you have on page 12. Okay, now Home tab is the most important tool because it contains your drawing elements, your drawing tools. That's why you see them, whether in 2D or in 3D, you have them there. They contain what? The drawing tools. And next to that is, uh, uh, okay, inside the Home tab, you have your drawing panel and your modified panel, annotation panel, and layer panel. I think I've explained this in the previous lessons. You can go back there and get mastery over that. Now, uh, If I click on any of the tab keys, it will change. So it's a function of what it displays. The panels you have per time depends on the tab you select. Now I want to do drawing, so all I need to do is to home and click on what home tab, and that gives me the draw panels where I can access my tools very quickly. All the tools you are seeing here are not all there is in this location. How do you access the other one? Clicking the drop beside them. The same thing is applicable to other panels. Maybe I come to modify. Modify are actually action-based tools. The action-based tools. Okay, you can move, you can copy, you can array, you can trim, you can erase. The action-based tools. This one are more or less noun-based tools. You can see them. They are things you can see. Okay, in my own interpretation anyway. Yeah, so this one is noun-based tools, and this one is action-based tools. They're verb-based tools because they're action in their operation. Okay, then this annotate. This one has to do with anything about typing. We talk about lettering. Yeah, this is where you do when you get to that. This is where you do all your typing. When you need to dig further explanation to whatever you've drawn, you do it in this area. By clicking on the area, I would explain to you how you do that when you get there. Then this is where you assess your dimensioning tools, whether inclined or straight line, whatever, circle, arc, you assess it in annotation. So take note of these two panels, three panels, the draw panel, the modify, the annotation, which are all found in what? And tab key, very important. Now, I want to introduce the keys very quickly. How do you call up a tool? You call up a tool by using a shortcut or by clicking directly on it. For instance, I want to make use of line now. I click on line. It's activated and I select. Okay, and I position my hand in the direction I want it to go. That is just what is there. Any side I want it to go, I position my hand there. I want it to go up, I position my hand there. Then maybe if I want to get a particular angle, which I may not be able to do, it's very easy. All you need to do is specify. The first thing you do is the distance. Then you say 120. I say tab. Now tab moves me to the inclination angle. I want to incline that in. Okay, I have. If you watch this, the box on top of the line, it shows the distance. Then the one below that is showing white shows what the angle. I say 45. I say enter. Now the software has drawn this thing. If I view this in from the horizontal, it's going to give me 45 degrees from the horizontal. So this line now is what? Is 45 degrees at the angle of what? At the angle of is the distance of the line is 120 degrees, as I can see from my animations, at an angle of 45. That's what I've done now. So that's how to work on a line. You make use of line. Either I say L enter or I click on it, and it's activated. That is polyline. Okay, I can. One thing about it, it has arc at the end of it, and there are many things you can do with it, depending. Let's just play with it now. You can repeat as I'm repeating. You can do a lot of things with the arc and this and that. Okay. Now this is for polyline. Whenever you are through with whatever you're drawing and you want to bring it to normal form, you click escape and then normal. Now this is circle. We have different types of circle. We have 3-point circle, 2-point circle, depending on. I think this is best explained when you start the work. But then you want to take up circle, all you need to do for you to click on it, and that is that. Now, by the way, for polyline, you want it in shortcut, you can click POL enter, and that gives you that. POL enter, and that gives you polyline. Then for circle, you click C, enter, that gives you circle, or you click on it, and that is that. Okay, you specify your dimension. Let's just say 20. Let's see what happened. Okay, then specify the other distance, and that is that. Then you have your arc. Okay, this is your arc. Just by clicking on it, this is your rectangle. Now, mind you, anytime you see a drop beside an icon, it means that you can access other tools there. As you can see, to access that, you just click on the drop, more things will be shown. That means at this place you can access polygon, you can access polygon, you can access rectangle. That's meaning. So that is that. This one again, you have other things you can access beside. That is sphere or ellipse. Okay, you can click on it or you type EL, enter. That gives you ellipse. Then for rectangle, you can use shortcut REC, enter. That gives you rectangle. And this is uh, hash. All right, you can use it to add uh, thickness or quality to an enclosed area. Take for instance this place now. I choose this. As you can see it now, I just want to hash this enclosed area. So that's the job. We're going to do more of that as time continues, as we go on in the work. Now, the next to that is my. Now, mind the other things you can access. I've told you the many other things: graded boundary and hash and boundary and all those things. You can access this in hash environment. So these are the things you see in draw menu. Good. Now you have, as I told you, modify is a panel under home tab, and is actually action-based tools. You can use it a lot of times. For instance, now I want to move an object. I click on it. Another way of getting move is by say enter. That gives you move. Then you select whatever you want to move, and that is that. You see, this thing is moving now. That's the job. Now, the difference between move and copy is that when you activate copy and select the object moves uh, the copied element but leaving the original there. You can paste it in different places. That is copy. So the first one is move, the second one is uh, copy, and this one is what? A stretch. Okay, see how it goes. I think the best thing is for you to do this and practice and see exactly how it works. That's the best way to learn. Now, you have your what? Your rotate. Okay, just as the name is, it rotates. You can see it. I'm rotating it about the angle, depending on what you want. That's the job of that. All right. Then the next to that, you have your array. See what happened now. I mean, your mirror. Mirror kind of copies something, but it just displays it on the opposite side. Now, it's asking me specify the 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 line. I click the first point. It asks me to specify the second one. I click here. Then it brings with option yes and no. Yes means it means delete the source. If I say yes, enter, it will remove the original one. But if I say no, it will paste the second one and will still leave the first one. For instance, you see it now. But if I choose Y, that is yes, and say enter, it will remove this original one. You're going to have something like this. Yeah, it will reposition it, but leave uh, the other one deleted. Then you have trim. Okay, how do you trim? For instance, you have stuff like this. Okay, now I want to trim an object. I select trim. Sorry, the system is a bit slow. But then trim. I click on trim or TR, enter. It's slow. Sorry. Okay. I click on it again. All right, it's activated. If anything I touch that has boundary, it goes. You can see it now, trim that area. Now, another way I can do that is saying TR enter. Then inside the trim, you can have what? Extend. Okay, I told you whenever you see a drop beside an icon, it means there's something you can access there. That's the idea. I click on this and click on this. Okay. Usually when you miss a straight line, watch what happened now. See, if I remove it, it goes. But when I take it closer, it it's it gets close to that. If I watch what happened on this one, if I click on it, get this in closer, it links it up, it stretches it, extends it. Whenever it has a boundary, it's bound to extend. You can see if I remove it, it's gone. So if I take the key closer, and that is that. Now, why is that possible? Because uh, the extend key was activated. That's why it's possible. And it can give trial to other ones you have here. But what I want to talk about here, we can learn more of these ones when we continue. This is erase. It helps to clean. I can use this to erase all these things. Yeah, it's erasing. I'm erasing the shapes. Why? Because I selected this key. The next one I want to talk about now is lettering. Okay. This is what to write anything on the screen. You click on, you go to annotate, select this text. It's usually capital A icon, and stretch it, and that is that. Then you type whatever you want to type. That's how it's done. Everything you want to type is done in this place. At the end, you say enter, and that is that. We're going to stop here for uh, this introduction, and we're going to move to the next part of the lesson. Thank you very much.